This is first movie. YOLO.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 behind-the-scenes facts about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
We knew we wanted to be somewhere near Lethal Weapon.
Whether she's a good guy or a bad guy remains to be seen.
Do you like my style? You can have it as well. Sudkovia.
For this list, we're looking at the most interesting tidbits about how this Disney Plus series took flight. Since we'll be talking about show details, beware of big spoilers flying your way. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. There were scenes meant to be shot in Puerto Rico. At the beginning of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier's production, there were plans to shoot scenes in Puerto Rico. But everything changed when the island was hit by serious earthquakes.
And unfortunately, Puerto Rico went through a quite sizable earthquake that really damaged their infrastructure.
As Puerto Rico recovered from the tragic incidents, the production decided it would be best for everyone to move certain scenes to Prague.
It just came to the point where between Disney and all of us, we just weren't comfortable sending anybody down there, and we wanted to bring our crew home that was down there because we just said no.
Dave McCumber, a stunt coordinator on the show, talked about plans to shoot Winter Soldier flashbacks in Puerto Rico.
Please. I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything.
He also gave us a glimpse of what those scenes would have looked like on his Instagram. As they found new locations for that sequence and other scenes, Puerto Rico continued its road to recovery. Number 9. The significance of Valentina Fontaine's appearance.
I like the idea of a female mastermind. I think it's about time. She's about 3 steps ahead of everyone, and that's gobs of fun to play.
The layered and hilarious performance Julia Louis-Dreyfus gave as, deep breath, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine made us very excited to see more of her. But we still have tons of questions about what her role will be in the MCU. Co-executive producer Zoe Nagelhout revealed that Val is meant to be seen as a more morally gray version of a certain Sam Jackson character.
We needed a character to be this sort of Nick Fury, but shady type to sort of enter John's world.
Hearing that the Contessa occupies a similar role to the Avengers founder opens up so many possibilities. Val has already recruited John Walker's U.S. agent, a man who feels like an edgier version of Captain America.
We're not going to need a Captain America. We're gonna need a U.S. agent.
Maybe she's starting up a team like the Dark Avengers. If so, will Val recruit another member during her upcoming Black Widow appearance? Number 8. Why Sam is from Louisiana.
You see how all of that became this man from where he was from.
Sam Wilson was originally born and raised in New York City in the comics, but the show altered his origin so that he grew up in Louisiana. A big driving factor contributing to this hometown switch is the fact that Anthony Mackie was born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Well, Anthony's backstory is rooted in Louisiana, and we merged some of that so that it could become really, really personal.
Every scene that takes place there feels incredibly authentic. The combination of Anthony Mackie's natural performance and extensive real-life background there made Sam feel like a real person. Although the showrunners could have followed the comic origins like they do for so many other heroes, their choice to incorporate Mackie's hometown led to a richer and more authentic show.
For Marvel to give me the opportunity as a black man from the South to become Captain America, I think says a lot.
Number 7. Where they filmed the Madripoor scenes.
Ray Chan, our production designer, is extraordinary, and we looked for months, I have to tell you.
Although we know Madripoor is a shady city, its unique design and exciting dance scene had us wishing we could visit. While it's located on an Indonesian island on the show, the scenes were actually shot relatively close to Sam's home.
And we started sort of looking around and mapping it out, and he came up with Madripoor in a series of back alleys in a small town outside of Atlanta.
Production designer Raymond Chan turned an Atlanta town into Madripoor by looking to other cities. While he based some street designs on a location he saw in Vietnam, the bridge was inspired by a structure in Mozambique. By blending those two cities and more elements into one fantastic design, Chan made us believe a small Atlanta town was the larger-than-life location of Madripoor. Here's hoping that we see the fantastic work that went into creating this fictional city again in a future MCU project.
We wanted to feel the back street. It needs to be more gritty, it needs to feel more lawless. It's a lawless society down here.
Number 6. Sam's new suit hit a small snag.
So all of the detail that goes into and I can tell you, months of thought went into every scene. not only in the building of it, but in the design of it.
Seeing Sam don his comic-accurate Captain America suit was one of the best parts of the entire series. It turns out that making it look good took more effort than the audience might realize. Whenever Anthony Mackie would move his head, the cowl would bend and stretch a little. The post-production department had to touch up the shots to make the headpiece stay in one place.
There were dozens and dozens, probably hundreds of visual effects shots just to make that cowl look better so that it looks heroic and doesn't have weird gaps, and we don't want to see any seams in the costume.
And since Mackie wasn't constantly walking around the set with red lenses in real life, they had to digitally add those onto his face as well. All their hard work definitely paid off. The new Captain America is now one of the best-dressed superheroes in the MCU.
For what it's worth, suit looks good on you.
Thanks.
Number 5. How the production reacted to a pandemic.
There was a lot of thinking that went into how to adjust our entire production plan to fit the realities of the world, but a credit to the crew for figuring it out.
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was originally going to premiere before WandaVision. But while the former show was filming in Prague in March 2020, the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic caused production to shut down. While the crew waited to return, editors worked with the footage they had, and creatives prepared to shoot in locations they'd only seen virtually.
A lot of our scouting had to be virtual. We couldn't have people flying back and forth in the way that we typically would. But again, ultimately our team rallied around and figured out how to mount this production.
They were finally able to return to filming while following all the safety precautions in late 2020. Throughout the Marvel Studios Assembled episode, multiple people said the challenges brought everyone closer together. Knowing that they completed such a big project in an unprecedented time of adversity is remarkable.
When we're all up against such extraordinary circumstances, it creates a brother and sisterhood that is, I think, a bit extraordinary.
Number 4, the plot line that fans didn't see.
And even though the pandemic hadn't hit yet, that all just exacerbated a feeling folks were having. And if you're Black, you've been having it your whole life.
There have been many rumors swirling that a storyline was cut from the series because it shared similarities with the COVID pandemic. In a recent interview with the Fade to Black podcast, the show's head writer Malcolm Spellman seemed to dispel that notion. He said that while some aspects of the story didn't make the final cut, it wasn't due to similarities with the pandemic.
It's been jarring to me and surprising how timely this series is.
Spellman's currently trying to get this plotline adapted into comics. But who would the book run follow? We could get more insight on Sharon, learn more about Eli Bradley, or even follow Joaquin Torres on his journey to become the next Falcon.
Wait, yo, you forgot the wings.
Keep 'em.
No matter who or what this missing storyline is about, fans definitely want to know more.
I need to understand.
Number 3. Actors really embraced the fight scenes.
We started off training our actors here. So they do as much as they can do, they learn as much as they can, and they'll perform as much as they're able to on camera, and that's what everybody wants to see. Our actors, our heroes doing the action.
While actors could easily have stunt doubles perform all the fights, multiple cast members from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier seemed eager to jump into combat themselves. Throughout the Marvel Studios Assembled episode, we see several scenes of actors throwing punches and pretending to take hits. Although all of them are impressive, Emily Van Camp deserves a special shout out.
I used to be a dancer, so doing fight training and all of that stuff was a lot of fun.
There you go, feel that angle? Good. Good, there you go.
Her fight scene against the bounty hunters in episode 3 was one of the best action sequences of the series. And in the behind the scenes, we got to see her actually performing a few of these complex and cool moves. Seeing the actors really throw themselves into these fights makes the action even better than it already was.
Working with the Marvel actors that have done these characters makes things way easier. They know the deal. They know what their characters do in general.
Number 2, making Flight look fantastic.
Part of the mandate is, all right, well, if we're going to do Falcon as a titular character finally, he's got to have the best Falcon action.
Falcon's flight scenes consistently looked awesome. While the camera cut away at the right time to cover Mackie's takeoffs, wires often kept him in the air. The most impressive flight sequence came when Falcon went to rescue a kidnapped hostage from Batroc in midair. After creating a mock-up of the scene with computer graphics, the team brought in real flying experts. Some of the footage we see was recorded with head-mounted cameras. Later on, those shots were blended with CGI, other aerial footage, and Anthony Mackie on a blue screen.
Oh, I could do a Will Smith one. I can go
For what? Sweet Jesus!
The end result is a breathtaking scene that feels exhilarating every time you watch it.
We gotta find another way!
I just did.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Crafting a tremendous truck stunt.
Punch, kick, punch, punch!
And John Walker arrives kind of out of the blue.
In the second episode, Falcon, Bucky, John Walker, and Battlestar have to fight Carly and the Flag Smashers atop a moving truck. After working out the details of the scene by superimposing visual effects on stunt performers, they put performers on fake trucks for some shots. They also collected some footage of real stunt people on moving trucks. What's more, the production used digital effects to create the road, trees, and all the flying effects.
So what was a bunch of guys on a blue screen that we're going to replace the background now becomes a complete digital environment. So digital mountains in the background, all sorts of German trees, everything needed to be touched.
Once again, the team was able to build an exciting scene that looked seamless and felt visceral. It not only served as a great introduction for Carly, but also an example of the action-packed heights Marvel can reach on a television show.
When starting any series, you want to kick off with as much promise of what the series is going to be as possible.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.